Do I need to feed Eva? I think I need to feed Eva. Oh, wrong button. God damn it. Yeah, she could use a little snacky snack. A little something something. Let's give her a mushroom. And there's also a couple of snakes around here somewhere. There's one. So let's call her. That's how we do that. Wrong button again, son of a bitch. There we go. Oh, missed it. Alright. And welcome to the final episode of Metal Gear Solid 3, by the way. My name has been Winter, and if you've been keeping up with the series, I do appreciate it, and I'm sorry to have had to make the edits that I've had to make in the last couple of episodes. Or edits that I've had to make, I guess. I'm not speaking right as usual. I don't know what the fuck my problem is. Anyways. So here's where we use the books for the first time. And let's take a look at these things. Yeah, so you can see how that would distract somebody. Especially Volgan's men. This is a nice little escort section. I really don't mind this escort mission. This is probably the best one that I've ever done in a game, to be honest with you. It's got a slight maze element to it, in that there's a couple of different routes you can take in 2 out of the 3 spots, but it's nothing confusing. There are much worse mazes in video games, and there's definitely much worse escort missions. The only bad thing about it is that Eva sometimes will lose sight of you. Even when you signal her 1,000 times, you gotta stay somewhat close to her. And she loses stamina incredibly fast. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't even have bothered stocking up on food in the last few episodes, seeing as how we've got the ends camo. And we could just seek out sunlight. But the trick is to just keep moving. And the books help, because those troopers are going to be coming up right behind us at any moment now. Right there. I see one of them found a book. See, look at her getting weak. She's pretty much worthless in a firefight. Let me feed her real quick. She'll eat rations as well.
This tastes like crap.
Not that she's got much of a choice. So I forget where the frogs are at in these 2 levels. Oh, no, I don't. No, I remember now. There's a branching path off to the start of this level, and it's in the branch in the path that we didn't go through. So if you've been keeping up with the series, or if you've just joined the series looking for a guide on frogs, yeah, not going to be tracking them down in this episode. And they're calling to tell us to wait for Eva, because we got to give her a boost. Because she's clumsy and she'll fall and hurt herself. I think she's getting around pretty good for her wound, though. You know, she's a good character. I really like Eva. I really do. I think she's a good counterbalance to the boss. And Snake as well. Obviously, her and Snake play pretty good off of each other. So, I'm going to do a little bit of killing in this area here. Going to leave her there for the time being.
Who's that?
Ah, shit. Well, that didn't go as I wanted it to. Are we good? No, not yet. Oh, shit. No ammo. But plenty of suppressors. I've got suppressors for the M16, don't I? I do. So I guess we'll go ahead and break that out. If I can find it. Got the feeling I just went right by it. Yeah, right there. XM16. Okay. Suppressor. Alright, come on, Eva. Where they at? I don't even see them. Oh my goodness, they're way down there, aren't they? Oh, there he is. Alright, fuck this. Do it the old-fashioned way. Come on. Let's go, girl. He'll be down soon enough. Now, I'm not sure, but I think enemies kind of infinitely spawn in this area. Though I could be wrong. And that's why I kind of wanted to hurry up and just not finish taking them out. I mean, I don't know. Honestly, I'm not sure. I know they keep coming back in that first area. But I don't know if there's a set amount in this one or not. So, yeah, just, I guess, forget everything I just said, huh? Shit, I don't know. That's all I'll say. Yeah, there's one. I was really wanting to not have to use my tranquilizer gun here, because we're going to need that here pretty quick. Going to need all the suppressors I can get for it. Alright. Oops. But I guess it wouldn't be a Metal Gear Solid episode of mine if I didn't trigger an alert at this point, huh? Yeah. Because I haven't been doing so good on those. That worked out pretty well. And here we are. So I guess I lied to you twice in this episode. There's only 2 areas, not 3. And of course we're moving into the final boss battle now. So absolutely last episode. Hopefully this won't take more than 45 minutes, and that's including credits.
Come on, Snake. Over there. It's the boss, isn't it? I'll go get the wig ready to take off.
Right.
I'll leave you two alone. But come back in one piece, okay? Promise me.
Look at the water. That was a bit strange.
Life's end. Isn't it beautiful? It's almost tragic. When life ends, it gives off a final lingering aroma. Light is but a farewell gift from the darkness to those on their way to die. I've been waiting, Snake, for a long time. Waiting for your birth, your growth, and the finality of today.
Boss. Why are you doing this?
Why? To make the world one again. The world used to be whole. But with the end of the Second World War, the philosophers began to fight amongst themselves, and the world was torn apart. The Cobras, my comrades who trained and fought alongside me, were torn apart as well. The foibles of politics and the march of time can turn friends into enemies just as easily as the wind changes. Ridiculous, isn't it? Yesterday's ally becomes today's opposition. And this Cold War? Think back. When I was leading the Cobras, America and Russia were fighting together. Now, consider whether America and Russia will still be enemies in the 21st century. Somehow I doubt it. Enemies change along with the times, the flow of the ages, and we soldiers are forced to play along. I didn't raise you and shape you into the man you are today just so we could face each other in battle. A soldier's skills aren't meant to be used to hurt friends. So what is an enemy? Is there such a thing as an absolute timeless enemy? There is no such thing, and never has been. And the reason is that our enemies are human beings like us. They can only be our enemies in relative terms. The world must be made whole again. The philosophers must be reunited. I will devote my skills to that purpose. And with the Colonel's money, I will achieve that end. Just as I once created the Cobras. They are my family. I may no longer be able to bear children, but I still have a family. It was November 1st, 1951. I was in the Nevada desert participating in atomic testing. The name Nevada is derived from Spanish, covered in snow, white as snow. And snow is exactly what I saw in that Nevada desert. It froze my blood white. Snake, you were an atomic test subject, weren't you? On Bikini Atoll. That's part of the reason I was drawn to you. You and I are alike. We're both slowly being eaten away by the karma of others. We'll never have the chance to die peacefully of old age. We have no tomorrow. But we can still have hope for the future. In 1960, I saw a vision of the ideal future from space. 3 years earlier, the Soviet Union had succeeded in launching Sputnik, the first man-made satellite in history, into orbit. This came as a huge shock to the United States. In response, America threw everything it had into its own manned spaceflight project, the Mercury program. Even as the Soviets seemed poised to send their first man into space, America was still experimenting with chimpanzees and rockets. The government wanted human data, so they secretly decided to send a human being into space. I was the one they chose. At the time, they didn't have the technology to block out cosmic rays, and whoever they sent up would inevitably be exposed to heavy radiation. That's why they chose me. After all, I'd already been irradiated once. Of course, you won't find any of this in the history books. I could see the planet as it appeared from space. That's when it finally hit me. Space exploration is nothing but another game in the power struggle between the US and the USSR. Politics, economics, the arms race, they're all just arenas for meaningless competition. I'm sure you can see that, but the Earth itself has no boundaries. No East, no West, no Cold War. And the irony of it is, the United States and the Soviet Union are spending billions on their space programs and the missile race, only to arrive at the same conclusion. In the 21st century, everyone will be able to see that we are all just inhabitants of a little celestial body called Earth. A world without communism or capitalism, that is the world I wanted to see. But reality continued to betray me. In 1961, I was sent to Cuba, to Bahia de Cochinos. It was part of a CIA-sponsored invasion under the guise of taking Cuban exiles back to their country. But the US government betrayed them. Our weak-kneed president held back their air support. Defenseless, the exiles were annihilated by the Cuban army. All I could do was watch in silence. I was set up by the very country I'd sacrificed so much for, by the very government I dedicated my life to defending. I was driven from the surface world, and I went underground. Then, 2 years ago, I faced the Sorrow, my old comrade in battle. He was my friend. But one of us had to die. I was left with no choice. The Sorrow gave his life for me. There is no enmity between us. One must live, and one must die. That was the mission. The ones who gave me that mission were the philosophers. Early in the 20th century, the true holders of power in the United States, the Republic of China, and the newly formed Soviet Union gathered together in a secret meeting that would later be known as the Wise Men's Committee. The secret pact they formed there marked the beginning of the philosophers. But the last of the original members died in the 1930s. After that, the organization began to run out of control, and the Wise Men's Committee degenerated into a mere shell of its former self. The philosophers of today have no sense of good or evil. Their influence extends to countries and organizations involved in every aspect of every war. They have become war itself. That's how they operate. The sacrifices of war cause a shift in the times. This shift leads to renewed conflict, and in turn triggers the next war. Like a nuclear chain reaction, each conflict sparks countless others, forming an endless spiral that will continue on for eternity. Do you understand what I'm saying, Snake? By consuming me and you, the philosophers intend to keep that cycle going forever. It was my father who explained all of this to me. He was one of them. You see, I am the last remaining child of the philosophers. But after he revealed the truth, my father was killed by that same shapeless, formless organization. And my father isn't the only thing the philosophers have taken from me. In June of 1944, the Cobras and I took part in the landing at Normandy. We'd been given a top-secret mission to locate and destroy enemy V-2 rocket installations. I was pregnant at the time. The sorrow was the father. I gave birth on the field of battle. A beautiful baby boy. But my child was snatched away from me by the philosophers. Look at this scar. This is proof that I was once a mother. I gave up my body and my child for my country. There is nothing left inside me now. Nothing at all. No hatred, not even regret. And yet sometimes at night, I can still feel the pain creeping up inside me, slithering through my body like a snake. I've never talked this much about myself before. Thanks. Thanks for listening to me.
She knows.
I feel content. Snake, commence the operation. I raised you. I loved you. I've given you weapons, taught you techniques, endowed you with knowledge. There is nothing more for me to give you. All that's left for you to take is my life, by your own hand. One must die, and one must live. No victory, no defeat. The survivor will carry on the fight. It is our destiny. The one who survives will inherit the title of boss. And the one who inherits the title of boss will face an existence of endless battle. I'll give you 10 minutes. In 10 minutes, MiGs will come and bomb the hell out of this place. If you can beat me in less than 10 minutes, you'll be able to escape in time. Let's make this the greatest 10 minutes of our lives, Jack.
Boss.
You're a soldier. Finish your mission. Prove your loyalty. Face me.
Okay, here we go. And yeah, gotta break it up as always. Not the episode, but I mean the pace. So let's go with Snow. Unless we've got Ozcam. Oh yeah, Snow is better than Ozcam. Look at that. Interesting. Face. White. Snow. Yes. And again, I'm going to try for non-lethal here. We'll see if it happens. As she mentioned, we've only got 10 minutes to fucking do this. So, I don't know. I mean, sometimes it goes good, sometimes it doesn't. Let's see what we can do here. Nope. Hey, got her. Oh, damn, fixed camera angles on this part. Of course, around here by these logs are the solidus, liquid, and solid snakes, which I am not concerned with, again, because I'm not doing every single animal collected or anything like that. So I'm just trying to get away from where we ducked down. That way when she comes looking, she doesn't find me. Now let's pop up and take a look. Holy shit, that is bright. Is that too bright for y'all?
Where are you?
I hope not. Alright, let's keep moving this way. Normally, if I'm going for a lethal kill, what I'll do is the same thing with, oh, who'd I drop all the claymores on? The end. Yeah, I'll just set a whole bunch of claymores down, and those will normally chip away at half of her health. There we go. But now she's going to know where we're at. She's going to be headed this way. She's pretty lethal in hand-to-hand. I really don't like going up against her hand-to-hand if I don't have to. If we get to the 5-minute mark and I haven't got her stamina at halfway depleted, then I'll go for hand-to-hand, but... There we go. That worked out alright. Almost got her halfway already. And it's been interesting how this series has worked out in terms of the non-lethal kills on bosses, because normally when I go for non-lethal on Vulcan, I use the cigar gas spray, and then on the boss I will use the handkerchief. But you all saw how the Vulcan battle went down, so... Feeling pretty good about this so far. Got her to the halfway point.
Where did you go?
Not seeing her. Oh, there she is, behind the tree. There we go.
You've gotten stronger. Where are you hiding?
She's gonna come up on me. Yep. There we go. You know what? Let's go hand to hand now with the handkerchief. Because we got 5 more minutes, as she said. Give me the sneaking. Watch that camo index drop. Here we go. Let's find her. There she goes. Look at that. She doesn't even see me.
There you are.
Oh! Oh, come on.
Heads up, Snake.
There we go. Oh, hang on, hang on. Just because I'm paranoid. And why not, right? What is that, broken bone? Yeah. Because all I gotta do is get her one more time, I think. Maybe 2 more. Ah, she's fast.
There he is.
Oh!
Move or you're dead.
Yes! One more. Oh. We got her.
Heads up.
Let me get that bug out of your nose. And give me that camo. Yes, got it. Snake camo. There we go. Not bad. I'm happy with that. That's okay. That went alright.
Take this. Keep it safe. It's our only hope.
Patriot. Why are you giving me this?
Jack. Or should I say, Snake? You're a wonderful man. Kill me. Kill me now. Do it. There's only room for one boss and one snake.
Ready to go, Snake? Are you okay? Snake?
Yeah.
told you you could trust me.
Snake! Ocelot! We're not done yet! Damn!
Yeah, he's had enough. Both of them. It's been a long time coming.
Too heavy!
Snake, try to remember some of the basics of CQC.
Not good!
I picked up a few new moves. Huh. It doesn't feel right to shoot an unarmed man. But I'll get over it. Eva!
That was good editing.
What do you say to one last showdown?
Yeah, all right.
Again, that's how he put himself through college. A decent way to make a living. It's an honest man's work. Much like the musician who's busking. Sat out there with his little hat, people would drop in quarters and shit like that. Every quarter adds up over time.
What's your name?
Snake.
No, not that name. You're not a snake, and I'm not an ocelot. We're men, Names. My name is Ademska. What's yours?
John.
Very well, John. Plain name. But I won't forget it. Come on!
I can't remember which one to choose, but it doesn't really matter. I'm not going to be doing any shooting anyways. There's 3 different ways that this can turn out. You can either fire at Ocelot, and you've got a gun with a blank in it. You can fire at Ocelot, and you've got a gun that doesn't have anything in it, or you can not fire at him. And the cutscene will be slightly different for each one at the end of the little duel here. So I'm not going to shoot at him, 'cause I like to think that that's the nature of their relationship. It's obvious Big Boss has a lot of respect for Ocelot, you know? I mean, and Ocelot obviously has a lot of respect and admiration for Boss. Or for Snake, I should say. Sorry, Snake. This is Snake, not Boss. But, yeah, I would like to think that Snake wouldn't shoot. Of course, that's the special bullet.
It's a blank. Oh, that was fun.
That was the one he was going to shoot him with in the water tunnel.
Till we meet again, John.
Give me a hand! Whoa! Come on, pull up! We made it.
Yeah, you sure did.
Oh no, Mix! There's no way out! What are we gonna do?
We've come too far to let them stop us now. Those things have got to be armed.
It's no use. There's no way we can outmaneuver them. They're gonna shoot us down. We were so close.
Weapon systems on.
Locked on target. I got towed.
You were great, Eva.
Huh?
Thanks.
Hulk 19, this is Control. Stand by for a direct order from the chairman. Bulk 19, return to base immediately. Do you read me? This is a direct order from Comrade Khrushchev. Return to base immediately. Bulk 19, do you copy? Understood. Aborting mission. RTB.
Look! The MiGs are turning back! Woo!
Well done, Snake.
The MiGs disengaged.
Most likely under orders from Khrushchev.
Is this his way of helping us?
Who knows? Maybe he didn't want things to get messier than they already are. Or maybe he just wanted us to owe him one. The important thing is, you made it out alive. As long as Khrushchev is with us, I don't think they'll be coming after you. It should be smooth sailing all the way to Alaska. I'm sending someone out to Galena Base to meet you.
To meet me?
The DCI and the President himself are waiting at Langley. Don't keep them waiting.
So what are you going to do now? Go back to the KGB?
What do you want me to do?
Did you ever think about coming back to America?
I can't go back. I've left America behind me.
But you saved this country.
I didn't do it alone.
And I still owe you a dinner.
Is that part of your mission too? Or is it an order? Or is it an invitation? Or a proposal? I don't take orders from anyone now. Scholars tell us that the first spy in history was the snake in the book of Genesis. In that story, it was Eve who was tempted by the snake in the Garden of Eden. But this time around, it was I who tempted the snake and got away with the forbidden fruit of knowledge. Forgive me, Snake.
Good morning, Snake. I hope you slept well. First of all,
I have to apologize. I wasn't sent by Khrushchev. I'm not a KGB spy, and I never worked for the NSA.
I'm an agent of the People's Republic of China for the General HQ 2nd Department of the People's Liberation Army. It was all a lie. I tricked you. And I'm sorry.
The philosophers still exist in China, too. You see, my mission was to find out where Volgin was hiding the philosopher's legacy and steal it. So I infiltrated his base as a KGB spy. The 2 NSA codebreakers who defected in 1960 were actually both men. The real Adam never showed up at the meeting place, saving me the trouble of having to eliminate him. I sneaked in by pretending I was Eva. And you and Sokolov and Volgin, you all believed me. The philosopher's legacy was originally held in common between the US, Soviet Union, and China. We couldn't let the Russians and the Americans take it all for themselves. The Chinese government had its eye on the legacy, too. I got the film containing the legacy, and also the nuclear missile launch data from the Shagohod. 5 years ago, the Soviet Union stopped supplying us with nuclear weapons technology. Since then, China's Liaodong easing, hydrogen bomb, and space rocket projects have fallen behind. But with this data, our country will be able to develop its own nukes. We'll create a deterrent force to rival those of the US and Soviet Union. Everything has gone according to plan, thanks to your help. I, too, am one of the philosophers. I'm an agent of the philosophers, a graduate of one of their charm schools. I was raised in a joint US-Soviet-Chinese facility to become a sleeper agent. This was before the war. Back then, they were collecting children from all over the world. As a result, I'm indistinguishable from a native-born American. So it didn't surprise me when you and Volgin couldn't tell the difference. But she knew right from the beginning. She knew because before the war, she was at one of the philosopher's schools too, as an instructor. The boss was the only one I couldn't fool. She was the only one who knew I was a fake. She told me everything. Why did she open her heart to me like that? At the time, I couldn't understand it. But now, I think I do. Snake. She wanted you to know the truth. She chose me to tell you. That's why she saved my life. I've lied to you so many times, but not this time. My orders from the government were to obtain the legacy and to eliminate everyone who knew the truth about what happened. In other words, I'm supposed to kill you. But I can't do it. Not because we loved each other, And not because you saved my life, but because I made a promise to the boss. And I intend to keep it. I just wanted you to know. And you have to live. Snake, listen to me. She didn't betray the United States. No. Far from it. She was a hero who died for her country. She carried out her mission knowing full well what was going to happen. Self-sacrifice. Because that was her duty.
You are above even the boss. I hereby award you the title of Big Boss. You are a true patriot.
In the army. Someone like him to handle our top secret sneaking missions for us. A man who combines the qualities of a soldier and an agent.
The boss's defection was a ruse set up by the US government. It was all a big drama staged by Washington so they could get their hands on the philosopher's legacy. And the boss was the star of the show. They planned it so that they could get the legacy that Colonel Volgin inherited and destroy the Shagohod at the same time. Only a legendary hero like the boss could have earned Volgin's trust. Finding out where the philosopher's legacy was hidden was to be her greatest mission. Everything was going according to plan. But then something happened that no one could have predicted. Colonel Volgin fired an American-made nuclear warhead at Sokolov's research facility. Khrushchev demanded that the US government provide proof that it wasn't involved. They couldn't just abort the operation to steal the legacy. So the operation itself was greatly expanded and revised. The authorities in Washington knew that in order to prove its innocence, they'd have to get rid of the boss. And that one of their own would have to do the job. The public couldn't be allowed to find out about it. Not ever. This, they concluded, would be the best way to keep the whole thing under wraps. The boss wouldn't be allowed to come back home alive, and she wouldn't be allowed to kill herself. Her life would be ended by her most beloved disciple. That was the way the government wanted it. That was the mission she was given, and she had no choice but to carry it out. Her death at your hands was a duty she had to fulfill. Out of duty, she turned her back on her own comrades A lesser woman would have been crushed by such a burden. The taint of disgrace will follow her to her grave. Future generations will revile her. In America as a despicable traitor with no sense of honor. And in Russia as a monster who unleashed a nuclear catastrophe. She will go down in official history as a war criminal. And no one will ever understand her. That was her final mission. And like a true soldier, she saw it through to the end. But I think she wanted you, of all people, to know the truth. She wanted to live on in your memory. Not as a soldier, but as a woman. But she was forbidden to tell you herself. And that's why she told me. Snake, history will never know what she did. No one will ever learn the truth. Her story, her debriefing, will endure only in your heart. Everything she did for her country. She sacrificed her life and her honor for her native land. She was a real hero. She was a true patriot.
Well, there we go. Metal Gear Solid 3. I think it's definitely the best one out of the whole bunch. But that's just my opinion, and I'm sure other people have a different view, which is fine. Again, it's one of those games that it's kind of hard to think of what to say about it. You know, everything has been said so much. But I do find it interesting that Snake is very quick to believe Eva there at the end about, you know, the boss's final mission and the debriefing and all that. I mean, Eva at this point came out and admitted, hey, I'm a spy and a lot of what I told you was bullshit. But he still takes her word. So I think that there's something there for sure. And I think that it's cool that he's got that. And, you know, Big Boss, I guess I should say, since there's two bosses in this game. He's a great character. I mean, it's no surprise after all the shit that he went through in this game. I mean, he killed his mentor, and then after that, the woman that he was in love with, because I'm fairly sure he had feelings for her, he probably just didn't know how to show it. He strikes me as that kind of guy. You know, then that woman turns out to be a spy, and was just using him, and he never saw her again. Or did he? I don't know, it's a shame that Eva was never brought back in any of the games until Metal Gear Solid 4. I kind of wish that she really would have popped up more than a voiceover in Peace Walker, and as a mention, you know, she was just mentioned in MGS5. We never saw or heard her voice or anything. Sorry. Yeah, one of the best endings to a game ever, though, as far as I'm concerned. It's very powerful when the music kicks in and Eva's delivering her backstory and explained what happened, and especially when she gets to the part about Boss doing what she did. Yeah, it's very emotional. It's very gripping. It gets you. It works. It's hard to find a bad thing to say about this game, really. Level design is pretty good. Backtracking is kept to a minimum for Metal Gear Solid, you know. And I personally like that, because let's face it, all the other ones, you know, there's a lot of backtracking in it. Every single one. They all reused areas to some extent, quite extensively. Especially Metal Gear Solid 5 and Peace Walker. Well, actually, I think Metal Gear Solid 2... Well, I don't know. They're all pretty bad about it. Yeah, they're all pretty bad about it, but this one does pretty good of just pushing you in one direction, and that's where you keep going. It's just that one direction. Very rarely did we go to the same place twice or anything like that. The voice work is pretty good. All the actors, of course, David Hayter nailed it out of the park as Big Boss in this, as far as I'm concerned. A lot of people think that, you know, Metal Gear Solid 4 and Old Snake is his best performance, but I still say it's this. I think it was similar enough to Solid Snake that obviously it was recognizable, but at the same time, there is a different heart behind it. Sorry, can't stop from yawning. It's about 11 o'clock at night again. I don't know why I've been recording this series so goddamn late in the day. Music is excellent. My only complaint about the soundtrack for this whole thing is that when you pick up the physical copy of the music, there's no alert theme, and there's no caution theme, and there's no evasion theme. So those would have been nice to have on the actual physical soundtrack. But I mean, it's a 2-disc, you get a shitload of music, and it's all good stuff. I can't really think of anything else to add to this that hasn't already been said 1,000 times over. Same problem I've had throughout this whole series. Yeah, there we go, Subsistence. Okay, so that's something I could talk about. In Metal Gear Solid 3 for the PlayStation 2, in the Subsistence, there was a 2-disc edition and a 1-disc edition. The 2-disc edition is the original Subsistence release, and it had Metal Gear Online, which was the first time that there was an MGO, and it also had a bunch of cutscenes from the game that were reworked into little comedic skits, and I really wish that those would have been present here on this HD collection. But we'll get more into that in the next episode as we take a look at the extras and trophies for the game. So I think that pretty much sums it up for me. Thank you all for watching. My name is Ben Winter, and I'll see you back here on the next series. And eventually I will be getting around to Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker, MGS5, well, maybe MGS5, Metal Gear Solid 1 for sure, and Metal Gear Solid 2. I just don't know when at this point. So I will see you back here in the next series. Hey, everybody, take care out there.
Yes, Grozny Grad and the Granin Research Facility have both been wiped out without a trace. I understand, sir, but they were necessary sacrifices. Yes, the CIA has taken care of the boss themselves. I believe the White House will be satisfied. Khrushchev is finished. Your time has finally arrived. Yes, the American president is relying on us to keep a lid on the whole affair. We've got him by the balls. It should make a valuable trump card in future negotiations. Yes, Chief Director, of course. I'll keep the KGB informed. Yes, it's me. The boss has accomplished her mission. The philosopher's legacy is now safely with us, in America's hands. With this money, yes, the philosophers can finally be revived. The film we handed the Chinese was a fake. Peking must be in an uproar right about now. I'm afraid so. Only half the money has made it back to the United States. The KGB must still have part of the legacy. Yes, the weapon has been reduced to ashes. That's right. Grozny Grad has been obliterated by the Davy Crockett we brought in as well. Yes, that was the boss's work too. Speaking of which, I've obtained something from Granin that you might find interesting. It's a revolutionary new nuclear attack system. Perhaps it might just come in handy someday. Yes, we have Snake to thank for that. Khrushchev believed it as well. Yes, they bought our story. I don't think they'll be making a fuss. The secondary alert has been lifted as well. And the Soviets still haven't discovered my true identity. They have no idea that I've been triple-crossing them. I will continue my activities as a contact for the new government. Yes, it appears that no one knew that I was Adam. Of course, I'm always at the CIA's disposal, Mr. Director.